Hi. Don't know if you've been collecting these. DC Finest. A really great series from DC. I've got a few of them. I'm just going to go through the ones I've got. No, I haven't got them all. Please put in the comments below, once you've seen this, ones that I should be getting as well. And maybe your suggestions and reasons why I should get them. But let's just go through these ones first. This one's excellent. I love any Golden Age one. So anything that comes out Golden Age, I can't wait to get. There's some Justice Society of America ones. There's Superman. And also there's another one coming fairly soon. So I'm looking forward to that as well. This one, Plastic Man. This is from Police Comics as well as Plastic Man. These were quality comics. So they weren't part of DC initially. But these are great, really brilliant Golden Age stuff. I just love the material. Very weird, very wacky, sort of unusual, sort of like Mr. Fantastic, elongated man. But I think in many ways far more inventive than many of those. But DC format, this Finest format, they have the covers on the back, obviously not all the covers, which I think is a slight pity. I think it would be nice if they just did thumbnails of all of them, very small ones. But also they've got the dates as well, so 1941 to 1944, which does mean, of course, it's not restricted to a volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, so they can always just go back. So if they're releasing one soon, I think, you know what, it'd be lovely if they brought out the Golden Age as well. Well, they can do that still. It's not restricted by this format, I don't think. These books are also, I think, reasonably priced. Well, this one, how much is it? $39.99. Generally in the UK, you can get them for about £25. And at that price point, I think that's a reasonable price. I think sometimes the epic ones are often about 33, 34. And unless I really want those, I think 33, 34, I start thinking, maybe I can probably patch it together from other things, or I can just do without that. But still, this is another one. Catwoman. Wasn't really one I thought, you know what, I'm going to enjoy. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Some really good stories in this. I just got it recently, loved reading it, been flicking through it. I will be doing a full review at some point, but this is just really good. Really lots of different stories. And this one is from 88 to 93, not particularly a period of comics that I bought that many different titles. I certainly didn't get Catwoman at the time. So it's really great to get, obviously, Batman turns up and other characters as well. This one is a great one. Really pleased they brought this one out, Legion of Superheroes book. I've got the omnibuses, I've got the Silver Age one, the Bronze Age. So this one was just great to get the continuation of those stories. And that's what this one is. This one is from 1968 to 1974. I don't know if they brought these out in omnibus edition. Certainly haven't seen them. But this one, just some really good story. I love this period. I bought quite a few of Legion of Superheroes at this time. And I was always just picking them up in my local news agents, and they're just great stories, very weird and wonderful. And this one, Zap Goes the Legion, really good. And again, there's one thing about these: they're 600 pages. Sometimes the epics, and again, I'm not going to but I buy lots of epics. I thoroughly enjoy them. But often they're sometimes like 400, 500 pages. These DC ones, I think they've really done really well. They've been going for a lovely sort of 600 size books, and also covers a whole range of different things. I like that. I love the fact that it's got all just this and that story all put in. Just brilliant. Next one of my favourites. I love this. Now, I had the DC Archives version of Justice Society of America, long gone. Got 1 or 2 books of that still. But this series, I'm really glad they bring these out, and I will be getting all of them. Long as and they're bringing one out fairly soon. There's a Justice Society America 2nd volume coming out fairly soon, and this one you can definitely determine that it's going to be the 2nd volume. Well, this one is clearly the first one, and this obviously starts, but unfortunately doesn't start with the JSA 1 and 2, which is a slight oversight. Personally, I think they could have done that, put 3. I know it wasn't just the Society at that point, but just for completest sake, just do the whole stories. But this one, really good. And if you love old classic stories, they're not for everyone. I know, they really are odd. They're really of their time. But I just think they're brilliant stories. You've got Hawkman, you've got Atom, you've got whole loads of different characters. The artwork is all over the place because different artists would be contributing, but they're brilliant. Just my favourites. This one I was really pleased because I had this originally in Showcase and I didn't have any colour versions. They were going to bring out an Aquaman omnibus, but we got this instead. DC Finest. This is Silver Age material, And it goes all the way, really quite a reasonable period as well, 1957 to 1962. And you've got some really good stories here. Love these, absolutely brilliant. All the way through Aquaman. And the artwork changes, obviously, you see as you go through it. And it definitely, in the next volume, when they bring it out, hopefully, they will bring. And this one, just lovely. You can see the covers there. Of course, it was showcase as well as Aquaman's own title. Once you got that, this was the first. Of course, the DC Finest Superman. I think whenever they bring a series out, they always go for this one. This one must have been sort of reprinted in various books multiple times. It was the first, always the first. Though they didn't do a showcase one. That was about the only one actually thinking about it. Showcase they didn't do, but still, just full of just some great stories. Again, of their time, not for everyone. Superman is very, very different from how obviously we know Superman now. But it's got the covers and things. But some of them, they don't always put the covers. There's weird things where they put the covers, sometimes there's bits and then not, which I think is a pity, but still, that's in some of the other ones. But these, I think, generally have got the covers. But lovely, lovely book. And this one, this was actually the first one I bought, and this was Batman Year 1 and 2. And I just love this. I'm actually saying that, was Superman the first superhero? I don't think that was the first one. It came a bit later, I don't know. It was certainly very early on anyway. But generally, it's always Superman's going to be an uplift. But you got there, Batman, really, really good story. Again, not ones that I'd actually read, so it was nice to get. You got the Year 1 and Year 2, and really very enjoyable collection. Well, that's it for all my DC fights. I haven't got the Green Arrow one. Reason I haven't got the other ones, like I haven't got the Supergirl one. I've got the Omnibus. Not going to buy that again. Could do, but no. There's also Green Lantern. Obviously, that is also covered by the Omnibus, so I'm not going to get that. Flash, I haven't got that one because, again, it's covered by the Omnibus. Now, there will be ones that come out that will be, I think, you know what, I will get that. But that'll be later on for those Flash ones. But the Flash one, the only difference with the Flash ones is they do include, I think, one pages. There's a couple of one pages that were not included, weirdly, in the Omnibus edition. So that would have been nice. However, on to the next thing. I've got a list here because I never remember all this, and I'll miss one off. So I'm just going to go through ones that are upcoming. So one that I really look forward to, Gorilla World. I've got that pre-ordered. That's a science fiction based one, strange adventures and those sort of things. Love those stories. Always got those showcase ones of those. Brilliant stories. I don't know. I think they're all going to be themed about the gorillas because DC really loved gorillas at that point. So it gives me hope that they will do maybe a Rex Wonder Dog or something, Detective Chimp story one as well. There's another JSA book, as mentioned. That's obviously continuation of the other one. Metamorpho. I'm looking forward to that, but I've got that in showcase, so it's going to be, but it's in colour. So I probably will go for the Metamorpho one. That's, well, the artwork, of course, Ramona Fradden. Brilliant. Love her work. Superboy. I'm looking forward to that. Haven't got that on pre-order yet. Did pre-order it and then cancelled it. I do that quite often. But that one I will get probably. I'm quite certain Superboy I will definitely pick up. And the thing is, of course, sometimes I like to wait now before, I don't want to, when it comes out, sometimes the price goes down a bit. At the moment, some of these are quite often, like you see it 35, 34 or whatever. And then as soon as they come out, generally they go down to about 25, I've noticed. I've even seen ones being now pricing about 23. 23 is about the lowest I've seen in the UK. Superman Family, that looks good. I think that one I have got on pre-order. I love those Jimmy Olsen ones, Lois Lane. I think that's going to be a mix of those. So that would be brilliant. 0 Hour Part 2. Now, I haven't got 0 Hour Part 1, but that's a possible at some point. Batgirl looked interesting. That's one that I think that, I don't know what the stories are in that. So that Batgirl one, but that could be like the Catwoman, a big pleasant surprise. And that's the thing about quite a lot of these collections. Some of these books I haven't read. Some of the stories I might have picked up a comic here or there, but I've never read them all the way through. And that's what I like about the epics, omnibuses. You get the story all the way through. So that one, Batgirl one. Peacemaker. No, absolutely nothing about that one. It's on my maybe list. Please put in the comments below. It's a great series. Peacemaker. I don't know anything about it. It's a bit like the Suicide Squad one. I've been umming and ahhing about that one for the last week or so. Should I get that one? Don't know. Sounds good, looks good. It's got DC Legends or something in it. I don't know. However, I just watched Near Mint. I love Near Mint. Brilliant channel. and they've just talked about all the ones. And then I've just gone off and looked on the web to find a little bit more information as well about these ones. And they got some more coming out. This obviously in July, August, September, etc. I assume this is near enough going up to Christmas, unless they've got even more to come out. Now that would be brilliant. A Christmas collection. They bring out a DC Finest Christmas collection. I'd be in for that straight away. Hope so. That would be, yeah. Okay, so we've got Green Lantern. That apparently continues the other one, but again, I suspect most of the material I think has been collected in the omnibuses that I've already got. So that probably isn't one I'm going to go for, unless I change my mind, which is always possible. There's Hawkman. Love that one. Got the Hawkman in, I think yes, still got the Hawkman showcase. That's black and white, of course. Great that they're bringing those out. Now, doesn't mean, and I hope they do bring it out, the Golden Age Hawkman. They could do that. See, as it's not in Volume 1, Volume 2 order, they could just do some of the other ones back in the Golden Age one. They were slightly different. They were very different. The character is very odd looking at those stories. Another one, horror one. Horror, brilliant. But they've gone for a theme, horror. It's going to be a bit odd that time. They couldn't use that. Horror all the time. But that one's going to include House of Secrets, House of Mystery, also Tales of the Unexpected, Witching Hour, and there's probably a few other ones, Phantom Stranger as well. So they're just putting a load of those great stories. Now, again, I guess they could backdate that as well. So there's lots of horror comics, obviously the 50s ones. They're not particularly horror. Well, there was a lot of horror comics back in the 50s, but DC never went for that, really. But there were lots of those horror stories that maybe they could include. Maybe they will include that. Who knows? I don't know the exact contents. I saw the listing, but in terms of numbering of the issues, couldn't say. But there must be a lot of material that could be reprinted there. So it's a good thing that they're going to go for, like horror, science fiction, just lovely themed one, because that's the trouble. It'd be nice to see a romance one, a romance series, because there's lots of the Secret Hearts and those are the ones. They are occasionally, I mean, they did do a Young Love, I think it was showcased, but there's not that many reprints. There's a DC Romance one or something like that, but you don't get many. So it would be nice to see proper collections of those. And maybe other genre, crime. DC brought out a lot of crime, but I think a lot of the crime, certainly the 50s ones, probably, I think Gangbusters, that comes to mind, and various others. Sometimes I think maybe they were licensed things, so maybe they won't be able to bring those out. Who knows? However, Static, know nothing about it. Please put in the comments below if you know, read the title and think it's the best thing since whatever. I would be really pleased to know, because I don't know anything about that one. Static looks good, but Super Friends. Now I've got that in the showcase series. Possibly, it's not a big sort of one. I bought them at the time. I bought Odd Comics. I remember Super Friends. Obviously, there was a series as well. But Super Friends is a possible. Can't buy everything. Well, I suppose you can. But there's also a Supergirl, and that one did interest me. It's Peter David. The Peter David one, apparently. Again, I didn't read that much of that. So that material will be brilliant to read. I remember reading a few of them. I got a few of them. Over the years, I picked them up. The comic marts, I'd pick up a issue. Ooh, that's a Supergirl, whatever, and I would have it. So I have read them, but I haven't read them as a consistent sort of long story. That one does look good. Superman, another Golden Age one, assuming, because it apparently didn't show the listing of the details of the issues, assume it's just continuing the first volume. And that'll be some great stories. Assume, obviously, a mix of action comics, obviously Superman. I think that's about it that he appeared in at that time. It wasn't like he was appearing in Comic Cavalcade or anything like that. Also, they're bringing out a war one. So can't say about the dates or times, but this one sounds Army at War. You've got Star Spangled, GI Combat. You've got Black Hawk. What a mix. Surprised about Black Hawk. In many ways, I was hoping that they would bring out a Black Hawk DC Finest, like they've done with, obviously, Plastic Man. That would have been nice. But because I think some of the artwork there, Black Hawk ones, were just great. And I've got the volume showcase one, and that is I just love the artwork there. And finally, I think this is all of them that have got out, unless I've missed one, which is quite possible. And that's Wonder Woman. Golden Age, first one of that one, which again gives me great hope that they're going to start bringing out more and more Golden Age ones. Let's hope the JSA one and the Superman one sold well that they then think, you know what, the Wonder Woman. But again, unfortunately for me, I've already got that in omnibus. So there's a few times where it just clashes. I am not going to be buying that one because I've got them in the omnibus. I am happy with the omnibus collections, even though they do weigh a ton. But it'd be, hopefully, they bring out other ones. There's so many great series. Golden Age Flash, Golden Age Green Lantern, just crying out for a massive reprint program, I think, because I just love those stories. They were really great. What I've ever caught and read over the years of Golden Age Flash, I've just always loved. They're just great, weird stories. Again, not for everyone, but I love those ones. And that'd be a brilliant set. I've got Boy Commandos, all those sort of things. There's so many DC could bring out. So we've got at least a lot all the way up to I assume 2026. And that'll be brilliant. So which ones are you hoping for? Which ones will be getting out of that list? Have you bought them all? I mean, it's quite possible you bought them all. You've said, that's it. I'm not going to miss any of them because there's been lots and lots of them coming out. They come out quite regularly. Sometimes I end up finding out about them later. I think, oh, that's been out for a while now. I better get it. And sometimes, like I say, the prices, I haven't missed any yet that I've really, really, really wanted. You're going to get those, and also the ones that are coming soon, and also things that you'd like to see in the DC Finest. And have you liked the DC Finest line at all, or you're just not going to buy them at all? Be fascinating to know. Please put in the comments below. Also, a like or dislike, always appreciated. Also, please subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Bye.